Welcome back to Half A Hot Rods. If you're new to the channel, what we do here is prove time after time that you don't need a whole bunch of money, talent, or knowledge to have a good time fixing and working on cars. This week we've got a bunch of stuff I'd like to be working on. I really want to be working on this. And I really need to be working on this. But I have a problem with this. And since that's one we use on a regular basis to tow, haul, do all kinds of stuff, haul family, and it's got a 2,000 mile trip coming up, I'm going to have to address this one. So that's what we're going to do today. If you haven't seen the other videos on it, this is a 2001 Chevrolet 2500 pickup, four-wheel drive with the 8.1. For those of us that still like cubic inches, that's 496 of them.
Ooh, it's a big one.
And old Betty's decided to spring a leak. I know that's going to come as a shock with only 188,000 miles, but she's leaking a little bit at the Hydroboost. That's that guy right there. There's some more of the leak. She's a mess. So we're going to tear it apart. We're going to get it fixed. She may or may not have fought me a little. Whoa! We really got to get that taken care of. Hydroboost is this guy, which is the booster for the brakes, and it takes pressure and fluid from the power steering system and uses that for pressure, added pressure for the brakes instead of vacuum boosting like most other vehicles do. A lot of heavier trucks will have this. Naturally, I went to Google because I needed to find a replacement booster, and I found out that you can actually service these. You can take them apart, replace a seal in most of them, and it'll fix the problem. So I spent 30 bucks to get a seal kit instead of 300 to get a new booster, and now I'm going to tear it apart and hopefully replace that seal and fix it. I'm going to try and keep the background noise to a minimum, but it is hot out, so we're going to be running the fans today. So we may have a little bit of that. I'll try to keep it from running directly across the microphone so you don't have to listen to that. But we're going to dig in here. I've watched a couple videos on it now, and it seems like it's something I should be able to do. It's all just nuts and bolts, right? Just nuts and bolts. Nothing to it but to do it.
Okay, you are a poet.
Alright, let's get started. Take the master cylinder loose first. I'm cranking away on this thing and the bolt's backing out the backside. Instead of coming loose. Hey! No time for laying down on the job. I feel like that's not supposed to come out of there. Now you're supposed to be able to pull the master cylinder off. Yep. We're just going to let it kind of sit on the metal lines. I think that'll be good enough. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the battery. I don't think you really need to for this job, but there's this little aftermarket solenoid that's been on this truck since we've had it, and there's undoubtedly power going to it. I'm still not real sure what it's for. I think there was a camper on it, and there's some extra wiring back there for the two. There's two 7-pole RV plugs in the bed. I think that's what it goes to. Anyway, my point is, I think there's power going to it, and I don't want to arc one of my wrenches across there and do some unintentional welding. So we're going to disconnect the battery, even though normally I don't think you need to. Get our booger picker. Just going to work our way around this hose, try and break it loose from that nipple. There we go. All right. that over there so it can drip on the ignition coils. That'll be great. I'll get these lines broke loose. Really would like to use a line wrench on those. The problem is going to be I don't have metric. It's not 11/16. It's not 5/8. It's definitely not 3/4 since that's bigger than 11/16. It's not 7/8. So I don't have a line wrench for it. That's an 18. That was smaller than a 17. Oh, 15, is it? No. Is it going to be a 16, which is a size I don't have? That'd be great. Let's see if we get this one broke loose without stripping it. Wow, okay, that went better than I expected. I was giving it all the torque. It didn't need all the torque, it just needed some. Alright, we're not going to pull that off there until I'm ready for a leak. I'm going to figure out what size the other one is. Got my metric crescent wrench. This should do it. Great thing about a crescent wrench is they're kind of bulky, so they don't fit anywhere. Did you break loose? Come on, work with me. Yep, sure did. Woo! That's a dangerous game with a crescent wrench. It's a good way to strip stuff out. I've also heard it called a Swedish nut lathe, which seems pretty accurate. Oh yeah, we're just gonna let it run. I've already got a mess, right? Oh, I don't want that all over the rubber though. If you go back here where it's a little harder to leak. Those are not 12-headed bolts. The video I watched said they would be. These guys are going to have to come loose once it's on the bench. But if I can get to them here while the truck's holding on to it, I'm going to try and do that. I think those are smaller than a 10, aren't they? Oh yeah. Oh, they're bigger than an 8. So they're a 9? They're not 9mm either. Why would they be? Are you American? Sure enough, America. 3/8.
Ah, America.
Those weren't that bad. Don't worry about that. Just turn that Swedish nut lathe into an American toe crusher. Alright, now we have to go inside the cab. Allegedly there's 4 bolts. 4 bolts? Yeah. I'd say they're those ones with the yellow on the end of them. There, up there, and over there. And then a clip right there. I'm gonna get this clip off to release this rod and the brake switch at the same time, and then we'll take these 4 nuts off and zip it out of there. Just zip it right out, right? It's just gonna zip. No, it's not. Let that clip come off. Just like that. Fling! Found it. So the brake switch should come off. The pedal rod should come off. Should just slide right off there. Just come right off there. Nice and easy because you're plastic. Just come right off there. There you go. Does the rod ride inside the plastic? I think it does. Sure enough. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So you can see the pedal rod, this guy, rides inside this switch. So I have to make sure we put it back that way. Alright, let's get those bolts out. long is that bolt? Well, we got it. Just took a little bit of sweating and a little bit of extension. Alright, let's see if we can fish that bad boy out of there. According to the internet, and I know it's true because it was on the internet, we can get this out of here. Oh, that wasn't near as bad as I expected. I think I dribbled power steering fluid everywhere though. Oops. He's a work truck, but that don't mean we gotta be abusive. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing apart and replace the seals. Hopefully this cardboard will help us keep from having to mop up as much fluid. It was leaking out of this relief, but I guess there's a seal down inside here that goes bad. So we're going to split it at this case half, I guess. That's what it would be if it was a transfer case. Let's get to that. Those were 3/8. If we didn't break these loose before, you could put it in a vise or use a bar. The guy I watched used a bar across the bolts on the other side to hold it, like so. I believe all these bolts are going to be the same length, but I'll check as I take them out so that if they're not, I can lay them out so that I can put them back where I found them. Here comes the power steering fluid. Whoa! Whoa! I guess there was some pressure in there. Yeah, I just went and watched a video to see if I had to relieve pressure on that, and I didn't see anything about it. So...
They lied.
Yeah. There's some pressure. And now I got fluid everywhere. Okay, well, I'll see if I can't look up how you relieve that pressure so that that doesn't happen to everyone. I thought there would be. Maybe I shouldn't have fast forwarded. Dang it. And everything I watched said be careful when you take this apart so you don't lose any springs or valves or anything like that or lose track of where they went. I'm trying to stand this up as much as I can. I don't know what that is. Where did that come from? Just laying in there. That's a bit concerning. Yeah, I don't know what that is or where it came from. This rides in here. The seal that is supposed to have failed is supposed to be down in here, right there. So we'll dig that out here in a minute. But this was just kind of laying in there. I don't know if it belongs here. Oh, looks like it could. Oh, there's another piece laying in there. just floating around. So, didn't see that in anybody else's video. I don't know what it is. Maybe it goes in, yeah. Maybe, I don't know. We're gonna have to go look for where that goes, because I don't have any idea. And I think we'll do that before we dig that seal out, because if those pieces mean that it's garbage, or only good for a core, then I won't fight with replacing a seal. Man, that made a mess. Yeah, I don't know for sure where those go, but I'm pretty sure you're not just supposed to chuck them back in there. Hope for the best. Got 3 little holes in it, like fluid goes through it. Maybe an O-ring on the outside. I wonder if that's supposed to be in something. Go in there. Hey, there's a hole right there. Maybe it goes in there. Is that where you belong? Is that your home? I bet it is. Which way does this guy go? This is some kind of valve. So there's a taper inside this hole right here. I will bet that this matches that. That goes there. Now, before I jam that all back together that way, I'm going to go consult my vast library of automotive information, the internet, which has never lied to me, not once. And then we'll come back and hopefully, dang it, hopefully we'll put this back together. You just wait out here in the heat. Keep an eye on things. So I went inside, had some lunch, and watched the same video again and then another video, and I confirmed that those pieces go where I thought they went. I also found that thing got more than just me. We got the floor and the fan and the 57 and Tucker's truck. And none of those videos I saw warned about that being overpressure like that or pressurized. So if you know why that did that when none of the other ones I saw did, please comment below. Tell me why, because I don't know. All right, so let's put this thing back together. I don't know whether I just poked a hole in it or if it was split like that, but it's coming apart. Internet says that's what it is. We'll give it a go. We'll find some power steering fluid to lube this up with. Clean that. That feels like it's pretty good in there. Even all the way around, we'll put a little fluid on it to hopefully let that go past this guy. May as well do this one too, since it's easy. Like it's the same on both sides. Compared to the old one, let's clean that out a little. Okay. Make sure I don't have any crud on these mating surfaces that would keep it from bolting up good. And I think, here goes that out. Press that little guy down in flat. Grab this guy. And then we'll put them back together. Maybe. Why does this seem like there should be something else there? When you push this, does that need to go over that? Something didn't like it that way. Oh, why would you stay put? That'd make things too easy. There's a groove in that small plunger that has to... Oh, that needs to line up. Dang it. This is the part where you need about 6 hands. The one I watched said it took a good amount of pressure to get this to go the final little bit. Just don't know where a good amount of pressure and something's wrong intersect.
Now, take it easy, BA. Take it easy.
I think we're okay. This is where I'm tempted to grab the 3/8 impact and just zip, 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 zip all the way around. But the problem with doing that is if something isn't right, I'm a lot less likely to feel it than I am if I run these in carefully with a ratchet. And that stupid rubber O-ring wants to dance around in there. Just go to your home. You too good for your home?
That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
I made sure it would move in there by pushing on it with my hands before I cranked it down with a socket. Hopefully that's less likely to cause me a problem. And these are all going nice and easy, so I think that's a good sign. Guy online said he couldn't find a torque spec for these, so he torqued them to 25 foot-pounds. He seemed like he knew what he was talking about, so I'm just going to simulate one Ooga Dooga by hand. Click, click. She's torqued. I guess we could wash some of the yuck off this bad boy. All right, I think we're going to call it with that and put this bad boy back in. All right, I got the inside part done. It wasn't too bad. Actually, the brake pedal rod and the brake switch were a bigger pain in the butt than the 4 nuts that I didn't think would be easy to reach going back together. Those went pretty smooth with the wobbly and the long extensions. And then I spent just as much time trying to get the rod and the switch in the same position to get them slid on to the, sticky outy thing. The thing on the side of the pedal that sticks out and they go over it and you put the little clip on. Yeah, anyway, took me as long to do that as it did to put the other 4 nuts on and fish this through here. So we're ready to reconnect lines and bolt the master cylinder back up. So let's get that done. These fittings, I always wiggle the line around as I'm starting this because I want to make sure that's going in there perfectly straight and those threads find their way in there the way they want to be. I'm also going to hold this line up a little bit while I'm tightening it. If I don't, it's going to have a tendency to want to swing this way and get against this guy, which I'm sure is why this is here, and then it'll want to vibrate and rub, and I don't want that. It wasn't crazy tight before, so it's not going to be crazy tight now. This other hard line, again, I'm going to wiggle it around with the other hand that's holding the line while I start the nut. Seems like it's a lot easier to booger up the threads on these than it is on a regular nut and bolt. I don't know why. I don't know if that's even true, but it seems like it is, so there you go. That has been my experience. And I don't have the right wrench for this, so we're going to do the best we can with what we got. Go till that starts to feel like it's going to come off. I believe this went over the top. It did. If it's fighting you, you probably don't have it back the way it came off. So, there's that. That is if it's fighting you a lot. Everything fights me a little. So we're going to do the right thing and just pull this nasty thing off here. You want to be hard to get along with? You want to be careful being hard to get along with. You might just get replaced. I'm going to put that so I can get to it once it's on there. Clean everything off good, or at least spray it with some engine degreaser. I guess we'll check the fluid real quick, start this up. There's a bleeding process, and then hopefully we're done. I don't know. Oh, I'm bleeding. I don't know when that started, but it makes sense that I would be. A lesser man would use a funnel and not make a mess. Alright, we're going to reconnect the battery, fire this up, run the steering wheel back and forth a few times, pump the brakes, then shut it off, then pump the brakes again, then we'll check fluid level. Let's see what our fluid level looks like. A little below operating range, maybe? Showing a little overfull now, but I'm okay with that because I think there's probably still air in the system and it should suck it down. We'll run through the turning and brake pedal pumping a few more times. Not getting any new moisture under there, that's good. The pedal's good now. Power steering pump's not whining like it was before, that's good. Power steering pump doesn't sound like it's working overtime. Look at this pump coming down the road. ¿Qué pasa?
What are we doing?
Fixing the truck.
What's wrong with it?
Nothing no more. I fixed it. I got an idea for carpet for your truck.
Grass? Like that fake grass?
That's not a terrible idea either.
I want to do it. I feel like it'd be really cool.
Even better though.
What?
You know the little rugs you have as a little kid with Hot Wheels?
I've seen those. I think it'd be really cool. We need to get some sort of no mold insulation though. Because there's, like, this will get moist. Like when it rains, seals leak, and I'll get a puddle down here.
You should get weather strips. Okay, we'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
Love you, bye. These kids and their ideas. I don't know where they get them. So I think we fixed it. So the leak is gone. The bad power steering noise and weird brake noise are gone when I press the pedal. And now I just got to go back up the house and maybe hose it off, hit it with some engine degreaser, and we'll call it good. We'll go over the cost on this. So it's hard to gauge the time today because I was working on multiple different things. Maverick stopped by and I helped him and his boss with something. I want to say altogether, I'm going to say on the high side I got 2.5 hours in this. Here's the tools I had out. Basic set of wrenches. Probably metric and standard. Like I said, if you know why that is, that some of that stuff was standard, let me know. I bet it's because that Hydroboost fits all different kinds of stuff, and it has for years. So the wrenches, basic metric socket set, a couple of crescent wrenches, or adjustable. They're not, Crescent is a brand name like Kleenex, right? Morsky gets angry. Anyway, you could do it with one ratchet, basic set of sockets. You can't have too many long 3/8 extensions. Those were really helpful this time. One universal with a little bit of electrical tape on it to stiffen it up. I don't know that I used the screwdrivers. Maybe I did. The booger picker for hoses. This I think I found in a used car I bought 20 years ago. But you only need one of them, but they are awesome to have, and I wouldn't go without it now. Use the nut driver for that hose clamp we replaced. Could have used a screwdriver. That's just easier. Some safety glasses, a seal kit. What about those guys? Don't worry about those little guys.
Oh, that little guy. I wouldn't worry about that little guy.
So the seal kit was about $30. Let's say we bought a quart of power steering fluid. I had some on the shelf. I want to say that's like $6. And then 2.5 hours of my time on the high side. And like I said, I'd never done it before. I watched a couple videos, went back and watched some again when there was stuff I wasn't expecting. So we got $36 in it. And I'm betting that if you were to pay somebody to do it, it would be a 2 to 3 labor hour job. So you figure $100 to $130 an hour wherever you're going. That's at least $260 plus parts. Whether or not they're going to want to rebuild it's another question, or whether they just want to put a new part on. A new part's $300. So top end of this, probably $500 to $600. And I did it with a small part of a day and $36 in parts. So, and some very basic tools. Oh, the picks. The picks were very helpful. You probably could manage that with a screwdriver, but this little pick set was pretty inexpensive and they've come in really handy. So I think that's it on this one. I did make a little mess. Like I said, got my truck, Tucker's truck, my shirt. But that's it. We figured it out as we went. I didn't have to pay somebody else to do it. And it saved me, even doing everything myself, I still saved, $270 because I didn't buy a new Hydroboost unit and replace it. So, yeah, we did it again. So until next time, check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Give the video a like if you like what we're doing here. Go check out my other ones. I got a whole bunch on this square body. We got one on the 57 and a whole bunch more to come. Working on several other projects around the house for myself, my family, my friends. And remember, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.